Please, so please continue with telling me about your role and background in India.
I would like to take 1 minute in introducing my academic role, which I am into. Yeah. I started teaching English to visually challenged students, like blind students. I taught them for approx 2.5 years in India, in a state that is known as Uttar Pradesh. Later on, I switched to the BTech, teaching English language to engineering graduates, BTech students.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Yeah, then I switched to teaching to academics like graduation and post-graduation in English literature. Then again, my role switched and I started teaching a mixed sort of students like engineering graduate, UG and PG literature students, MPhil like Masters of Philosophy students. Finally again, then after that I took a change, and it was approx in the year 2008 October. Since then I taught to BTech graduates, MBA students, and recently I joined a university in India in the role of associate professor, that is Madan Mohan Malviya University of Technology in Gorakhpur, UP. My current role involves teaching soft skills to MBA students and the same soft skills to Master of Computer Applications, MCA students.
Okay, yeah.
And then at the same time I am teaching English to BTech students. And we have a language lab where I am also in charge of language lab at my place. So my role defines this.
So it sounds like you've had a really broad experience of teaching English. In terms of professional development, when I talk about professional development, what does that make you think of?
When the role of language in professional development, or you can say professional development overall.
So really I'm talking about professional development for teachers. In terms
of professional development for teachers.
Yeah.
So I look at the career of a teacher in at least two parts. One, when he is having education for himself and developing qualities for you can say adopting a job, a role, but when it comes to professional, he joins a profession, pre-profession qualification and with after profession qualification. The day he joins a profession, there onwards. So I feel that training is the most important part that a teacher must undergo at each and every step. And where he need to enter, like he should keep obtaining training in the field of respective field. Like may it be if he is teaching English language, he should go for ELT courses. If he is teaching EFL, English as foreign language, he should go for that. And if he is teaching, his method is bilingual, so he should go for some methodical training in bilingual teaching.
Okay.
And then whatsoever his field may be, like suppose that somebody is in the field of HR, even as a teacher for management point of view. So the HR people started teaching HR or you can say training HR and using a term as personnel management. Then later on it became human resource management. The present concept is like looking at human being as a capital. Your manpower is equally important as your capital. So it became human capital management. Concept is changing daily. So the role of counseling, which was earlier you can say it was directive counseling, then it became non-directive counseling. Then it changes the role into coaching, and you can say beyond coaching, mentoring. So this way a profession is changing day by day, and I feel that a teacher as professional, he must have exposure of all these domains, or even management professionals who are particularly in the field of HR or human capital management, they must know this concept of coaching, mentoring, and instead of getting their work done by telling only. So because leadership also is evolving day by day, and academic leadership, professional leadership is a quite, you can say, typical concept. And even in terms of industries also, where a particular thing is there, you can find leading by example for spearheading competitiveness in the era of information and communication technology. There the role of training, you can say, is mandatory for teachers for their professional development or even other relevant fields.
Okay.
That's what I feel.
Thinking about your own position, have you done any professional development yourself?
Yes.
Within the last year? Can you describe any of those professional development activities?
Even it's a wonderful question. I have been to all Indian approx, like IIT, Indian Institute of Technology. They are premier technical institution. So even last month I took a training from there for teacher development. It was mandatory for our university for a few teachers to go and take part there.
Okay.
Last year I was also in IIT Roorkee. I have been to IIT Kharagpur. So all premier, even I had last year January, I had a training that was organized by teachers of English for speakers of other languages, TESOL.
TESOL, yes. Yeah.
TESOL Virginia, USA. They conducted a 4-day training program in Bangkok, Thailand. So I took part in that.
Okay.
I normally attend minimum one training per year. Sometime my attempt is like per semester.
Yeah.
So I go for that, and I take part in like maybe language teaching, maybe communication skills, may it be soft skills, may it be time management, may it be coaching, counseling, etc., or may it be SWOT. Strength, weakness, opportunity set. I had a full length 1-week training for the National Institute of Technical Teacher Training and Research, NITER, that is in India again. So, but for outside India, opportunities are less for us as teachers, but still I explored and managed that one TESOL training and conference also. 1-week training, and then I came here for 2-week training.
And that TESOL training, was that specifically, or what was that covering exactly?
TESOL Virginia,
yes,
US.
Exactly, yeah.
They actually, their role is to, you can say, sometimes they went to the conferences all over world, and they sponsor certain projects. They conduct certain online training plus physical training. They conduct that, and then beyond that they identify certain research papers to their area of interest, to ELT or EFL or English for other languages, for the speakers of other languages, and they shortlist certain research papers, and then they award also, and they give training. Like for me, Embassy of United States of America, US Embassy, in one conference they reviewed my research paper, and they gave me an award. It was like Global Professional Membership of TESOL.
Okay.
And it is the payment for that was given by US Embassy to Virginia. So I had been Global Professional Member of that TESOL, Virginia.
Okay.
My membership expired last year. It was one year membership. So that way, and they particularly they keep intervening in terms of professional development. If you will look, if your focus is only professional development, so they also give training in time management particularly. Then they give training in leadership, academic leadership, language leadership, like LMCP, Leadership Management Certificate Program.
So,
that was the exactly title of the program that I took part in.
So it does seem a lot broader than just specifically English language teaching.
No, not only. Their focus is more, you can say, wider and not intensive in terms of language teaching.
Yeah.
They do have, but that specific program, I think, is conducted either online or sometime in Virginia only. Yeah, some of the specific places. But when they internationalize, so they come up with all these rules and they, you can say, involve all these settings.
Sure. So you touched on online professional development. Have you encountered any online professional development yourself?
Online professional development, I have not encountered, and I have not, you can say, took part, because India, where I studied particularly, at present day situation is entirely different and evolving like anything. But in our academic time, I got my post-graduation in the year 98.
Okay, sure.
So it was approx 20 years back.
Yeah.
So at the time in Indian universities, those online programs were not a concept.
Yeah.
And that's why when I feel like taking part in online, what I feel as a participant, I need that human touch.
Yeah, exactly.
That I feel like availing that human touch. So for me, I'm not comfortable, but gradually I sensitized myself to the role.
Yeah.
I organized some of the lectures to my students from USA online, even from UK. Some of my friends are working here in London.
Yeah.
So in India, I hosted but it was not like language teaching program. It was again like feminism and certain literary concept, or you can say feminist social intervention.
Yeah.
So some of the ladies I invited from here, from USA, and they had their face-to-face, online interaction and discussion with the students. Again, surprisingly, it will come to you that I am central coordinator for MOOC.
Oh,
at my university.
Open
online courses
exactly,
at my university, and the courses which are run by IIT Mumbai. Again, a premier institute. They are hosting a lot many courses, and I am taking care of my university and students' participation in. But this role I entered very recently, December only. You can not December, even you can say January. I got that. Sure. And it was very opening semester, so I was not too much acquainted with the system, but still Vice Chancellor promoted me. He said, you come forward and we will back you, we'll give you all back and support, whatever you want, and you lead it. Okay. So that way our university is promoting a lot in terms of open online courses, and students are coming up. They are coming up with online examinations always, in not all walks of life, but some specific courses they are doing.
Okay.
It is offered for them.
So it'll be really interesting to get your feedback on this new concept we're developing, because it is a digital concept and potentially an online concept. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to show you a short video of what it is. You can either watch it on there or on the screen. And as we go through it, I'm just going to read out a script which has gone with the video, just to give a sense of what it's like. And if anything's a bit unclear, just let me know, and I can repeat what I've just said. So we're going to start with the home page of this concept. So this is where teachers will go immediately when they enter it. So this is the home page, where teachers will have the ability to register as a new user, sign in as an existing user, or using an existing Oxford ID to log in. Without signing in, they'll still be able to search with this topic menu, or use the input box, which is just above the search box, to search for a specific learning material or search term. So the home page will contain information that promotes the benefits of using the website. So if we just scroll down to the bottom, that's all information promoting the benefits of using the website. Okay, so if you were to select Get Started for free, you could then register and begin using the website. So if we pretended that we were a teacher, we would enter some basic information such as first name and surname. And once they've entered this information, they'll be able to create an Oxford ID, which they can use to log in again with personalised settings and preferences. So the next screen we're going to see...
Will you do one thing?
Yeah, of course.
Will you be able to mail me that link? The browser link?
This is actually, it's not live on the internet yet. This is just a test live.
Demonstration.
It's not even a demo, actually. This is a prototype. And I'm not sure whether we can share it outside the company, but I can.
Okay,
ask,
no.
Of course.
Like, if I will go from India this way on this side for creating membership, so that basic link, if I can have,
yeah,
or I can note down.
Yeah, once it is live, we'll be able to send this.
Okay.
What
This
you see
is in
here,
research phase.
this is in the research.
Incubation phase.
Exactly. Yeah. So we're currently just seeing whether it works and what we can change. But once it is live, obviously, we'll be able to send links for people to sign up to. Okay, so once they've created their Oxford ID, they'll be able to then fill in some additional information so that relevant materials can be recommended based on your profile and your needs. So if you're a secondary teacher, you see more secondary resources, for instance. And additionally, they'll also have the ability to select areas of our learning framework most relevant to their own professional development needs. Or if they're busy at this point, they can skip this step and get started straight away. So once the user has signed in, they're directed to their dashboard. So here you can see that the teacher called Glenda has now begun using the website for some time, as you can see from the activity. And you can see the activity and progress breakdown. So if you go back to the top of the screen, you can see there's a welcome message, and also any updates of any new features or relevant new materials will be mentioned at this point. So further down the page, the teacher can see more professional development material that are new or popular, and also events that she might be interested in attending locally or remotely, which maybe comes back to the face-to-face aspect. And if they were to go back to the top of the page, they could search for a particular item they're interested in. So for instance, if they're interested in vocabulary, they could then search for vocabulary. So once the search button is clicked, they'll be taken to the search results. So on this screen, you'll be able to see that the teacher has the ability to search within her search results by applying certain filters on the left-hand side. So you can then navigate through the results and find exactly what you're looking for. And those are just some examples of the source filters on the left-hand side. So if the teacher selects teaching vocabulary, this is a collection of learning materials which have been especially created by OUP around the subject. They can find more about this collection through the icons on the right and below, and also see a preview of what is in the collection. And if the teacher is sufficiently interested, they can add this collection to their own library. So if we then look at the library part of the website, this contains everything the teacher has chosen to learn, whether it's specific collections of learning materials, whether it's collections of materials that they've created themselves, or individual items of learning like single ebooks or webinars or videos or PDFs. So they can see curated collections by OUP, as you can see here. And those can be based on profile and developmental interests. And you can also tell from the progress bars how far through the collection or the item in terms of the progress you've made. And this allows teachers to have the ability to pick off immediately where they've left off their teaching. So if we then go to the achievements part of the website, this is where the teacher has the ability to earn badges that help chart their progress and add some motivation. And within this achievement section, you can see the activity and create a portfolio as well of the achievements that she's made through this website. And here she'll also be able to import and export this portfolio of learning and achievement, which may also include more formal accreditation. So we run some Oxford Teacher Academy courses which are accredited by the university's Department for Continuing Education. So those will be able to be accessed and achieved through
these
this
are online
page.
or face-to-face?
So those would be online initially.
Teacher Academy courses?
Yes, that's correct for the time being. But I mean, there's also scope for this to be developed into including face-to-face. So the final page that we'll take a look at is this reflections page, and this is where teachers can create reflections based on their own learning that they've been doing, and they have the option to edit it and add to it as they learn, and they can also share their notes with either their peers or their directors of studies, for instance. Okay, so that is the concept.
Wonderful.
It would be good to know just what your initial impressions are of it, or if there's anything that's been unclear through that, we can go back to it and cover it. So just any initial impressions, anything you particularly liked or anything you particularly disliked. Both views are very important. It's as important to get information on anything that you might have disliked as it is to get any information on what you've liked about this.
So whether this material developed by the teachers or like write-up or teaching notes, lecture notes, they are like worldwide accessible, or it is restricted to one particular country?
So the idea is that it would be accessible worldwide. Most of the resources would be resources that have been created or put on the website by OUP, but it could be possible that teachers could create their own webinars or content, for instance.
Like, see, I have on YouTube approx 200 lectures.
Okay.
On my channel.
Yeah.
I have a channel. So, like video material, like video content, if I am putting here, so it will be okay, or I need to create a different one?
I think the idea at the moment is for the focus to be on material that has been created by OUP, just because there might be certain complications with sharing teachers' own created content. But if you think that's a good idea, it would be interesting to know why and what your views on that were.
Can you allow me to access just once these steps, so that I may feel comfortable once it is given there, or to work from my place? This is not online.
This is not online. So what we have here is what we were looking through in the video, and this is just a prototype. So it's not an actual website, but it is something that you can navigate and click through. Actually, I'm going to take it off the screen because it's adapting a bit weirdly because of screen, but on this you'll be able to click through some basic links and scroll up and down. Not everything works, but it will give you a bit of a better chance to have a look at it. So hopefully if we give this a second, it will readapt. There we go. So was there a particular section that you wanted to look at? Because we will go through the different sections in a second, but it would be good to just get a general overview of what you think of whether there's any particular sections that you thought were particularly good or particularly in need of development.
This is the beginning page.
So this would be the private page. So once a teacher has signed in and set up an account, this is the dashboard they would then see. So they would be first greeted by a welcome message, and then they could see some information about the activity that they've had on the site, and then they would be able to go through to the individual sections.
May I ask it that when is it going to be means functional? Right now it's just a prototype, you are telling, in incubation. So when do you feel that it will be functional?
So we don't have a set date on this yet, and it really depends on so many different things. I couldn't even give you an exact time scale. At the moment it is in very initial stages. Once we've had feedback from teachers like yourself on what sort of things we need to change about it, we'll be closer to knowing when it will be able to be put out there.
But this is very, very good for professional development of a teacher. And the very first thing I would like to say that whatsoever material we are creating in India and whatsoever material you will be creating here in Oxford, OUP particularly, this is going to be more trusted one. Why is it so? Since this has been the cradle of English in terms of professional development as well.
Okay.
Because in Oxford Dictionary, 8th edition, what I noticed there, I might have recalled also earlier said, that there is a supplement of professional development in 8th edition at the last of the dictionary.
Yeah.
And that is working very well in India.
Okay.
That one like resume building, CV, cover letter writing, drafting, all that.
Yeah.
So that content is being used as the, you can say, the best trusted, the most trusted reading recommendation for the management, BTech graduates and undergraduate and postgraduate classes in professional field. That is being used already, I know it.
Okay.
I recommended last 3 years, your 8th edition. Do you come up with any other edition? What is the latest Oxford Advanced Learners edition is going on for dictionary?
I don't know off the top of my head, but I think
but this supplement, what I used or we were using, it was from 8th edition.
Okay.
So that is quite useful, and in India people are using like anything.
Okay.
So there, when it comes to Oxford University Press, people don't go for cross-verify even.
Yeah.
They believe that this is already finally tested thing.
Yeah.
So this will be used like hotcake.
Yeah.
And what I also create some study material, and we are using, and even there is a Indian Institute of Technology, IIT Kharagpur.
Yeah.
They have created e-library, and they are having probably above 10 or 12 lakh books online.
Okay.
Freely accessible for Indian student via this site of ID that you are going to make prototype. They will generate and they will log in this way, and they are having their accessibility. But that is only free for the university or college students, not accessible for everyone. Not for everyone. And that way they are making, every day they are coming up with some digitized books and making it available online, because some of the old books that are out of print, they are available over there, and that is in use. Because in my last job I was the nodal officer for that National Digital Library of India. It is for Government of India, NDL, it is known as National Digital Library of India.
Yeah.
So making that library, not only that they are coming up with library, the concept is like this, they are coming up with videos also.
Okay.
They are online videos that they have come now massively on YouTube, Twitter, Facebook. They have made all the pages and they are doing that. So the sooner the better for Oxford. But I know you all will do it wonderfully. There is no second question and no you can say finger pointing. But the word is coming up like this thing. So for getting it as early as possible, because like people in other side of the globe, if you, I don't know whether you agree with me or not, but in terms of marketing, I think America is next to none. Marketing terms. And somewhere marketing is also the part of professionalism, professional development. You prepare very good products and classical product, I mean. But if you are missing the market or you are delaying the product, that will going to cause somewhere your even visibility, presence, readability, audience, professionals, all at a time. So to be very specific, I don't say that come up with 10 lakh book tomorrow, but at least this should come as early as possible. As language teacher, what I feel, as professional teacher, again I feel, because even in my country particularly, I don't know what is the world scenario, anything that is, whether it is book or video, in YouTube there is a group, I don't know, I thought earlier that it was yours house production, Oxford English, something like that.
Okay, that sounds like a OEP product.
Yeah, I thought that maybe yours. Oxford English and British English. 2 channels are there. Earlier, before this moment, I was thinking that both are from your house. And I used to recommend students for study very frequently. Even I use it as study material sometimes.
So these were videos on YouTube.
Referring material. Whosoever is asking me, like, what is good, even I don't recommend my channel that frequently, I am so honest that way, but I recommend that English, Oxford English and something like British English. So had it been from your production house, you cannot even imagine that what is its presence matter to the rest of the world.
It's really important.
People are, you can say that way, assuming most of the people, not only me, academicians like me in India, most of them are assuming that it is your digital presence. They in their mind, in the heart of their heart, they think, and even I need to clarify to some of them that you are about to come, you are not yet there. So that way you are missing the market a bit late.
Yeah, so it sounds like this would benefit from coming out quickly.
The quicker we will be, the beneficial will it be for your house, and not only for your, because it's a purpose of philanthropy that you are doing. So it will be beneficial for the student community as well as the community of the teachers, all user community, you can say.
Okay.
And for professional segment, it is required, it is needed.
Yeah.
And time is now.
Okay, no, that's really interesting feedback. What I'd like to do now is look at a specific page on the website and then just go through it and see if it makes sense to you. Before I do that, can I just ask if you use any app or website that awards you things like badges or endorsements or levels for your contributions? So we're thinking of things, I'm not sure whether you use them, like wearable technologies, like Fitbits, or websites like LinkedIn or TripAdvisor.
I'm on LinkedIn. I have my blog page.
Yeah.
I write blogs related to academic topics, social topics,
Yeah.
whatsoever I feel like, but not entertainment sort of thing, but social, cultural, running commentary sort of thing, commenting on social issues, current affairs. So I have it. Particularly 80% of my blogs cover Indian scenario, 20% international, or less than 20% you can say, to be very honest.
Yeah.
I have my Facebook page. There also sometimes my student frequently visit in terms of message or direct question.
Yeah.
I responded. So that is my presence on this online e-presence, you can say.
Have you used any of the, I think there's things like badges you can get on LinkedIn for doing various courses, for instance?
No, I
haven't come across that.
Okay. But had it been from your side, must have gone through.
Sure.
Because for me, I feel always like you people or even Tizol is better than LinkedIn Pro. So that way, for professional development, like coaching, counseling, I do. And why I feel that I am a good counselor, because students who passed out in 2012, they are still in touch, like past students. You might be surprised to know I taught English to blind student.
I remember you saying.
I said it, and I don't know Braille.
Yeah. Okay.
So that's the contradiction. And without knowing Braille, in first year of my teaching, I gave 100% result, and in second year, 100% first class. That was my performance. And throughout my life, I was taught English grammar, particularly by chalk and talk method. But I innovatively teach them, not knowing Braille, but I taught them English grammar, and I ensure 100% result.
Excellent.
So that way, I realized that teaching them, it's a big challenge. And what I was telling, I forgot the context. In which context? What was your question?
So originally we were talking about using things like LinkedIn for the badges that you can earn for professional development. But we were talking about we were going to be talking about this page here in a second, because it relates to tracking your progress through the website. But before I go into much more detail about what it is, I think it would be useful if you're able to see it, and you can scroll up and down, and just like in your own words describe what you see and what it means in your opinion. Sorry, the scrolling is quite difficult on this side.
It's okay, I can do it. Yeah, I can do it from here.
Yeah.
I think you need to add some colors here.
Okay,
Here. It is, and it is too wordy.
Yeah.
Words are more. Like for this, you can go for crisp, smaller sentences, and rest is nice. Background is good. Like this, you can add always appeal by using some colors.
Yeah.
And like you need to make it more visibly appealing.
Yeah.
Visual appeals are to be added.
Okay.
And
how about
like even the text.
Yeah.
Clear. You should adopt certain color of the text, like you remember, most of the teachers are students right now.
Yeah.
They are having glasses problems.
Okay, yeah.
And you don't you find it to color also?
Yeah.
It's too light to read.
No, I see what you mean. Yeah. Yeah.
Really. So it should be even in term, maybe this screen is small, screen will be bigger, so text will be appear bigger.
Yeah.
But the color should be, the contrast should be taken so that it may be readability should be easier.
Yeah.
So that thing, and here to add you can say it is too light.
Yeah. Sure. And in terms of the actual sections themselves, so at the top we've got certification progress. Does that make sense what it is?
Okay. Sensible.
Yeah. And what do you... I don't think that works yet, that particular link. What's your first impression when you see that section? What do you think that shows?
Okay. This part only, no?
Yeah. And there's no right and wrong answer here. It's just we want to know whether it's clear in what it's describing.
Certification progress. For professionals, we can add because or users for the language community. This is going for language only or for all professionals?
So this will only be for English language teaching.
Only be for English language teaching.
Yeah.
So it will be for teachers only.
Yes.
Target is for ELT professionals. Certification progress for ELT professionals.
Yeah.
Because sometimes what will happen, like see, suppose that I am a layman.
Yeah.
And I'm in a country, maybe Asian country, or you can say somewhere else.
Yeah.
So what I will look as a student, suppose that somehow I got an access to this space, I will also start hitting it.
Yeah.
And I will try, then I will find that I am in a wrong domain.
Okay.
And even teachers will not be able to, most of the teachers may start recommending student that you go there and go for certification.
I see.
They will start recommending them.
Yeah.
As a layman, I'm talking, I'm not as a trained or like, suppose that I met you, so I know that what for it is. But it is not telling that clearly. So for, or you can mention, if you don't want to make it wordy, you can write ELT certificate progress.
Yeah. And that's really important, that feedback from a layman's perspective, without the background that we've been talking about. And so if you scroll down the page, there's a couple more sections. So
teaching English to young learners, teaching English to teenagers, teaching with technology, teaching learning with dyslexia. How wonderful. These sections are quite good. Learning with special educational needs. This is for a special student, blind or
exactly, yeah.
Oxford Teacher Academy or online. And you know, like see, one of my blind students became first English teacher in university.
Really?
Yeah, I taught him in class 10.
That's amazing.
When he was in matriculation.
Yeah.
I am not having my phone right now. Its battery was dead. I might have shown you him.
Yeah.
And he's teaching English now.
That's
He's
incredible.
into English teaching. So teaching not only learners also, you have now ELT teachers who are having visual disability.
Yeah.
So that way you can make like sound, like suppose that somebody goes here, so some sound, website with sound. So he will go there, sound will come that you are here teaching learners with special educational needs.
That's a really interesting point.
So that way, that sound card of thing or making app something that it can be, like see your dictionary is having that soft copy of e-copy of dictionary, red and blue marks. So if you will go on blue, I think it is Oxford English sound terms.
Yeah.
For that, clicking on that and clicking on the red one, American something it is like that. I don't remember.
It sounds right.
It is there. So that way even if this basis on that basis, a teacher comes who is blind, so he can utilize you. Otherwise, he will have to depend till date the matter is converted into braille and made available to him.
Yeah, sure.
Clear? And in most of the countries that are, you can say, very poor or low level, so particularly disabled teachers are not having access to the up-to-date material, latest material.
Yeah.
And keeping them away from this material, I think you are going to lose a segment of society that needs you the most.
Yeah.
Whether you need him, that's the material, but that group of society needs you the most.
Yeah.
And if he is teaching wrong, you can never blame him. You will never be able to blame that you are misspreading or you are doing a damage to the academic community, or doing a crime. It's blasphemous in a way academically. You cannot blame him, but at the same time, if you are accessible to them anyway, so he will be an asset for you, for the society, for the community, and for humanity at large. That's what I feel. So that sound part, if you can add, that is my
some
suggestion.
Extra accessibility for disabled teachers.
If you are adding colors, it will be appealing to other users, but if you are adding sound, then online self-study professional development courses for English language teachers. You can say ELT professional. And ELT is, I think, like is being used as capital T. ELT is an abbreviation. L also capital, T also capital. Teacher Development by Oxford University Press. It is being used, I don't know, it may be your new experiment. Certified by Oxford University Department of Continuing Education.
Yeah.
And then...
So how about this
it's all nice. Then learning progress, time spent learning, webinar attended. Webinar is now need of the day. I will also participate after going from here. A video watched. But I feel more attached with, in a way I'm human touch I value the most. And then that's why I may be into more physical contact courses. Once I got I'm so sorry to tell you, once I was awarded 200-hour webinar course. Again as a gift on my research paper presentation. Amazing. It was by National Geographic Learning and one was Senegal Learning. They jointly conferred me that $200 US dollar award, but I couldn't materialize that. I couldn't use it. I'm so sorry. Because why I couldn't use it? Because again for webinar, I think I am so curious that sometime when I'm suppose that you are my teacher for time being, and I'm having discussions with that. So spur of the moment, I feel like asking a question that hits my mind, and immediately I will ask you. And for that purpose, if it is a webinar, what will I do? Since I'm not used to, so I will not type my question, rather, or even if it is live going, I will simply listen. That is my hesitation, you can say, or being less frequent to this product. But at the same time, I cannot say that I am aloof from it, since I have 200 videos.
Exactly.
Though they are not that good, they are only single to go talk. They are not like with animation and other things. They simply I am speaking, or I am using whiteboard inside the classroom, and it is recorded that way. So it is a speech or something, that sort of thing. Or I am reviewing a film or something like that. But again, that pictorial quality is very, very poor, you can say. I don't know mixing all that. That's why, I'm knowing that things are required here. So, was supporting learning with dyslexia, the ELT classroom.
In terms of the journal of learning, is that also clear what that section is?
This is clear. Read supporting learners with dyslexia. Yes, it's good. Meditate your way to better teaching. Watch teaching dyslexic students. So there is nothing more, or is it? No.
Unfortunately, that's
Okay,
not
okay.
live,
No,
yeah.
that is portfolio. What is this? And then this is portfolio of the teacher. No.
So it'd be interesting to know what a layman's impression of that would be.
So I thought that since it is my page, I am opening through. Like as a user, I am opening. Since it is my page, so it should be portfolio of a teacher or some experts whom I am subscribed or whom I am subscribing.
Yeah.
That way it should go.
So
Certification progress, you are giving it for the career progress. So export portfolio and certification progress, learning progress. Okay, time is spent learning, 48 minute time.
So it's precisely that. It's basically somewhere which it automatically saves completed work.
Mm-hmm.
And then if a teacher has a manager, like a head of studies or a director of studies, they can then export that evidence of their learning to show that they've engaged with professional development.
It's their achievement, their professional engagement.
Yeah. So in terms of this page as a whole, is there anything that you think is particularly good or anything that you think particularly needs changing beyond what we've already discussed?
I told you, the rest of the material, there is home and library. See, this is home page. This is home.
So if we scroll down, I'm not sure whether all the links are working, but oh yeah, so this would be the home page. So I was really talking specifically about the achievements page.
Okay.
Whether that particular page, whether there was anything you thought could
This one.
exactly, yeah.
This is good. Only the things like readability and accessibility.
You mentioned things like the color and the maybe having sounds, for instance, for less able teachers.
And certification, achievement, teaching English. You have something for ESL. English.
So the content, the titles are just really placeholders. They're titles that we do have, but they're not necessarily the titles that will be appearing. Exactly.
Young learners teaching English to teenagers. This age group wise division, teaching with technology. This is good. And you can say there is a proper term, a suggestion. You may write it also somewhere.
Yeah.
Like teaching English with technology. There is like an umbrella term for all technology using, that is known as ICT, Information Communication Technology. So teaching through technology, ICT or ICT intervention in classroom.
Yeah. Okay. So changing the wording a bit for things like that.
That is more appealing, I think.
Yeah.
And more all-inclusive. ICT is an umbrella term involving all sort of technology, like even cloud computing or even whatsoever, data storage and everything will come here.
Yeah.
So this nomenclature you can go for that way. Teaching learners with dyslexia, teaching learners with special education needs. This is good. I have nothing to say.
Okay. In that case, if we go to the next page to talk about, and that's going to be the reflections page. I'm not sure if that link actually works, but let's try it anyway. Excellent. Okay, so if you just take a second to look at this page, there's not a lot on it, but if you could just describe what you think this page is about from the perspective of someone who's just seeing it for the first time, and then we'll discuss similarly to the other page, if there's anything that you think it would need changing or that you think is particularly good.
This page is a reflection for filter, sorting out, adding new reflection. It's good.
Yeah.
It's nice.
Is it clear how it would be used?
What I feel like this is here for dyslexic people.
Yeah.
Some material, study material will be there, or how to teach them.
Yeah.
How to teach them, something is going to be here. if I'm going to filter, there will be multiple, I need to go for typing here and go for search in that, and I will be filtering the by keywords, using keywords for my information. Then selecting that how many of them are useful, sorting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 like that. Like top 5, latest information will be on the top. And then adding new reflections, like suppose that this is, I think it is going to be my sorted content will be appearing here as a teacher. So I will be adding new, searching new and adding new. And even if I am creating something, will it be here appearing?
Yeah. No,
that may be also here. So my addition
and
possibilities there.
Is this something you think you would use if you were using this whole website? Do you think you would record reflections? Would that be useful to you as a teacher?
I will use.
Yeah?
Sure. I will use. Anybody will use. Sometime, like there is one more point was here. What I recall. Here. Teaching learners, there is like you can create another batch or segment here, like higher education.
Okay.
Or English for professional purposes.
Right. So that's really interesting, because that brings us quite well onto this other page, which is the library page.
Okay, it is there.
So within this page, like we described in the video, there will be the opportunity to create your own collections. And within those collections, you could add topics, for instance, on higher education. So similarly for the reflections page, if you have a quick look at this page, do you think there's anything that needs changing, or do you think it's particularly good or useful?
Library page.
Yeah, exactly.
It's okay, nice. It's good. Only my role, had I been here for that, I might have gone for making this these letters colored and contrasting from the background.
Yeah.
So that it may be easily readable. Sure. What I said earlier. The rest I find it's okay. Oh, there is nothing here yet. For this term, this line I might have changed.
Yeah.
Or you can say coming soon.
Oh, okay, yeah.
That would be more positive, nothing negative.
Sounds a bit negative.
A bit negative. Yeah. So, yeah, we'll be right back. Coming soon.
Yeah.
Catchy terms like that.
Okay. So at the bottom there's a section which is recommended collections.
Even below.
Oh, sorry, no, it is that section there.
Recommended collections.
What do you think, or how do you think that could be useful?
Learning tools and tools based on your profile and interest. This recommendation will automatically appear on the site.
That's the idea.
This is a great idea. Because sometimes, like, see, if I am teaching one particular topic and I am not able to get a lot of material on that particularly, like, suppose I am teaching fog index.
Yeah.
So fog index is described in some of the books, like in professional writing, it is desirable to have the less fog index. So how to calculate fog index or some material, very little material, it is described the places where it is available. So if I am searching some material on fog index and suddenly here it appears recommended collection, that easiest method of getting away from high fog index.
Yeah.
Some title appears here. So naturally I will go to it,
Sure.
and I will try to get what is fog index and how it is being calculated and what are its parameters and how should I keep myself away from the high fog index.
Yeah.
So it's wonderful because like sometimes I am thinking the way and the content is here. What technology I see last course that I attended at Indian Institute of Technology, I attended Roorkee. There was a session on that. Suppose that I'm in terms of marketing I'm talking. I'm looking for a flight ticket from Heathrow to New Delhi.
Yeah.
So the computer its sensor is, if once I am using here, next time I will log in, so the fare will be more.
Yes. Yeah. I've seen that.
A fare will be more. How is that its memory is recording that? So I think it will work in the same way.
That's the idea.
Based on my search.
Based on your searches, but also based on.
So definitely it
your
will
initial
be of
profile.
use, and the kind of keyword it is going to catch, it is going to help advanced research.
Excellent.
In the people who are into research, who are into teaching, classroom teaching also, they will be able to, like see, suppose that for a teacher like me, when I enter in my classroom, I prepare my lecture. So normally, if not any tough situation, I prepare my lecture with a great relaxed timing.
Yeah.
So I will go like, I use Oxford Dictionary a lot, this advanced
I
level.
remember you mentioned, yeah.
So how do I use, like suppose that I am going to teach them debate,
Yeah.
or Generation Z features, or any particular term. So for the first time I will say Oxford Advanced Learners Dictionary defines this in this way. Or it means this. Then definition from a few more places.
Yeah.
Like Encyclopedia Britannica or other places.
Okay, yeah.
So I use that and a few encyclopedia. This encyclopedia is that. But in India, people don't use Wikipedia.
Oh, interesting.
Interesting.
Okay.
And Wikipedia is not considered nowadays as an authentic source of information.
So it doesn't have that reputation.
That reputation.
of
Because
being
anybody
reliable.
anywhere can edit it.
Yeah.
So information may be based on secondary source, tertiary source. So people will not use it.
Okay.
But once you are offering certain suggestion on that particular word, so it will be quite helpful for, and your repository is you can say fluctuating here some information or making it shine. So that is going to be quite useful for as a prompt for the user. And suppose that he will definitely go by clicking there, that sorted one, he will definitely go that what recent or latest thing is going on and what is recommended here.
Yeah.
So they will go. Like a very beautiful thing I would like to say, we use mobile phones.
Okay. Yeah.
And suppose that a gazette is there and its name is not there. So how this name came, mobile? So I studied an article by American scientist, and like word 2050, year 2050.
Yeah.
So in that article he writes that for mobile he is using a name, he is guessing that what will be word like that. At a time telephones were there, mobiles were not. So he says, go anywhere telephone.
Yeah.
He is using the term quote open, go anywhere telephone, unquote.
Yeah.
Quote some close. So this way he is unquote and then quote. So he is using this phrase for mobile.
Yeah.
So that way, if the thing I am not knowing as a teacher,
Yeah.
and some prompt is here, some clue is here, so academic fraternity is going to be highly benefited by this.
That's good.
So this is the best thing to.
Yeah. No, that's
and
really
maybe
useful
top
feedback.
3, top 5 recommended collections.
Yeah.
Maybe like top 3, top 5.
Yeah.
You can say
So not endless, but some key ones.
So people will be using 3 more references, 5 more references.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I just want to quickly look at this up here. So this is a curated collection, which is one which has been created by OEP rather than by an individual teacher on the website. So how do you feel about having these pre-created collections by OEP? Do you think that's a good idea?
It's a good idea. It's required even.
Yeah. And
because vocabulary learning methods are maybe many and different from different language community, speech community.
yeah.
For like suppose that there are multiple languages. I follow 3-4 languages only.
Yeah.
So first my mother tongue is Hindi.
Okay.
Then there is Sanskrit. I can read and write, but I cannot speak.
Okay.
Then there is Urdu. I can understand, but I can speak even.
Yeah.
But I cannot read and cannot write.
Yeah.
Similarly, these languages, each language has a different method of teaching vocab.
Yeah.
And for English, like when we remember Norman Lewis' book, very popular in India, Word Power Made Easy.
Yeah.
And most of the students and knowing word freak they are who want to know. So they go, what is that method? Going to the root of the language, a word, and then going to how do they, like aquafina, aquaphobia, then something like that, hydrophobia, how this came, how the terms are coming that way. So they go that way, catching the root. So if there is any other curated method of you are offering here, like teaching vocab, so what can be other methods? This is going to be quite, if some innovative method is there in this language, people will be having exposure to that. And sometime I teach even in my classroom, even I have prepared a few videos, it is on my YouTube channel for teaching vocab, like word power, and then it is like my videos with the title are there, word formation.
Okay.
Word formation.
Yeah.
And then word formation, how do the word emerge, how do their meanings are there. And in one of my video I use Hindi as well.
Yeah.
So some student from other community, that how the synonyms in Hindi are framed and how synonym in English come, how is their methodical approach. So I compare with that. So Hindi speaking and bilingual classroom, it is quite influential. But suddenly a student from other community, other country, he commented, "Sir, there is something written in the other language and that I am not able to follow. So you come up in the direct method, please don't use that.
Okay.
It is quite difficult for me."
Yeah.
So this is what students of various countries are giving as their feedback. So that's what I feel that this, if you are going for some tailor-made, because I feel that what you have prepared, it is the trusted knowledge of, you can say, traditional pattern of teaching English vocabulary with a fair blend of modern method of teaching.
Yeah.
So this is going to be a wonderful study material, and people will use it, even I will use it, because I need to know how new words are created, and I need to teach students that, because for second language learner, having a good vocab is an added advantage.
Really important.
Yeah.
Okay. So the idea is that some of the content on the site you'll be able to purchase if you want to. So, for instance, this content at the end. What do you think it would have to have, or how do you think it should be laid out in order? What would convince you to actually purchase something on this website?
To be very honest, I think that academic materials should be made available free to the teachers, at least for teachers. And where we will be going for study materials freely available, if not at Oxford.
Yeah.
See, as a teacher, if I am not getting material, somewhere and having accessibility. So Oxford University Press will I approach, or if I am not getting it available at Oxford, so in the world, in the globe, you can see, tell me the place where should I visit.
That's a good point.
So for language teachers, I don't think it's a wise idea to provide them or sell it products, language products, teaching product at least. Other products you can, even research product you can make it purchasable. You can go for like that because it's copyrighted information may be there. Your recommendation, even you can go for this. A few, like half of the portion you can give 20 for 30 pages for free, and rest of the material you can go for, like if you want to access whole book you can go for, you have to purchase. Something like that.
So the more comprehensive.
They can be like they will have some access to 5, 10 pages, 20 pages. Then later on they will decide that no, I need more into my research and it is quite useful. And they will definitely go for purchasing it also. But for research material. But my humble submission is that to this university press, that a language teacher, that to an English language teacher, for study material in this globe, there is no other place easily accessible for him, or easiest access is available to Oxford University Press. So please and please make it free for the teachers at least.
So that would definitely draw teachers in, that free content, but perhaps if they wanted to, get hold of a full book, for instance, something that's copyrighted, then having maybe a couple pages free for them to see it. But then obviously if they wanted the book...
The research material, definitely you can sell it out. Because if I want for research purpose, but if I want for teaching material, so teaching, classroom teaching, the richer will be your learning community. The broader will be your learning community.
Okay. Right, well, there's one last bit of this website that I'd like to show you and just get your opinion on, and that is in the public part of the site, actually. And it's just one section of this public part, which is here. So where we're saying it's aligned to a trusted learning framework. So when we say a trusted learning framework, we're talking about a professional development framework which shows a structured learning progression. So some organisations like the British Council have created one, and Cambridge University Press, for instance, have their own professional development framework. How important do you think is it that the content on this website is aligned to a framework like this? Or do you think it's something that isn't?
It's worth. And it worth a lot. And that too you are giving it without signing it. It is for any user.
So this is just to say that if you sign in and use any of the content, even the free content, it will all be aligned to a structure.
Every material is trusted, authentic and valid. It's good. The framework has been defined to provided by senior academic and teacher educators, globally working across different areas. Yes, wonderful.
Okay, so I suppose the next question I'd have about this is, there are these large international frameworks which aren't specific to OUP. There's one called Equals, for instance. And that it is also possible maybe that Oxford University Press will create its own professional development framework. Do you think one approach would be better than the other?
Pardon, repeat the first part of the question. Oxford is going to...
So potentially we could have an Oxford University Press professional development framework, and we'd align all the content on the website to that. Or we could use another pre-existing development framework, one that's an internationally recognized framework, for instance.
Better you have a comparative approach.
Okay.
They are at one hand, you are at one hand. So this will be giving you fair competitive market. And see what happened. At that time, your team will go through their resources as well. and they will realize that where they are, the others are good, where in-house team is good, and like in the market of competition also, and in the terms of quality also. So there will be, and academic qualitative fight should be there, competition should be there, because competition in one way is a way to improvise yourself as well. So that fair sense of competition will add, like see what they are offering, how far relevant they are, when they are, like see they have somebody is updating its material or latest material, like you are only having material published after 2001 to 2018. So that is your current repository. So latest first. And if they are having like latest publication 2015, so the current 3-year publication people will approach you in terms of chronology and in terms of quality also. Then so latest researcher will be, you will be the hot peak of latest researcher, current emerging research team, and that way there will be also pressure on you, fair pressure on you, that you need to come up with the next, what is next, what's next, what next. So your research team will be busy in finding recent development in the area, so that they can compete and they remain ahead from them. Like we had a session today on in Exeter College on this language development, NetLingo, and spoken grammar. We had a spoken grammar exactly, and yesterday all. So what is the modern internet cyber practice of the language? If somebody come up with a book on that, and maybe some other publication, the coming generation will be picking, present generation will pick that first. And those who will wish to take a research into that, they will look for different material available, similar material but different quality, qualitative material. So they will go for you and they will ask you that what you are having. So if you are having here only, so without even login, they will say that here something is there, something new material on the topic, like spoken English grammar, grammar for spoken English, something. So what is being practiced and what are the rules for that?
Okay, so it's not just about having a learning framework, it's about showing what new content is on the website as well.
So that will, all these things will be, and even trusted learning framework. So classical framework, you can say the old one, the modern framework is what is being practiced. Like see, in my country, learning framework was earlier, was either chalk and talk method or grammar translation method, or it became, then it switched to the, you can say bilingualism. But now most of the university practicing direct method, and even audiolingual method is there. So a lot of teaching learning methods are there. So what you are going to so you cannot say at a time that this method is simply dead. Because if you will go to the remote access, people will not be having mobile learning, access to mobile learning, they will not be having access to network learning, cyber material, digital library will not be accessible to them. But if you are going to into the city and town, but teaching or learning is not only about city and towns. Sometimes remotely access teaching is also there, where people are heavily depending on manpower only. And face-to-face teaching or direct method or grammar translation method. Their direct method teachers are also not available, and if you are going to teach in direct method, student will not be able to cope up with that. So for that purpose, even learning framework, so trusted learning framework, you can go for dividing it into classical learning framework, modern learning framework, postmodern learning framework. That way you can take it, categorize it And inside, I'm not telling that you make it verbose.
Yeah.
Inside, like based on that, three choices are there. So one may be hot peak from classical modern learning framework, classical learning framework, bottom one, and other learning framework.
Yeah. So just keeping it short and snappy, but to the point. Okay, well, I'm just conscious of time. That actually was the last question I wanted to ask about this new concept. So really, now I just want to know if there's any other comments you would like to make about this, any other opinions you would like to share.
About this website?
Yeah, about this
concept.
The concept and how it relates to professional development as you understand it.
It's needed. It's the high need of the society, or language, or study language community, not only language community, professional community. They need it because now English is not just a subject. It is not just a language to be taught, not just as a subject to be taught. It is global requirement. People need it. And even in the professional scenario, suppose being its global presence, and I am suppose that I am a man from Hindi speaking community. So what will happen? I possess some good qualification in my area, but my job periphery, or I am engineer, my job periphery will be restricted to one area, Hindi speaking area.
Yeah.
If I am from knowing Urdu, so again Middle East and India, if I am knowing English, I am accessible to the whole world. Even I will go and ask 5 people, I will get a member of English speaking community.
Yeah.
So in terms of exploring the professional horizon, pushing the comfort zone of the scientists, technocrats, even language, I feel that you cannot teach mathematics without language. Any subject you cannot teach without language. Even medicine you cannot teach without language.
Sure.
So for that purpose, English is required everywhere. Even I am going for patenting my idea.
Yeah.
So I need language as a part, and that's the most required thing. So my final comment is that it's required, and it's not only required, it's urgently required.
Okay, I think that's a wonderful point to conclude this interview on. Okay, so I'm going to stop the recording now.